Hey YouTube, let me go ahead and get this out the way. A lot of people are probably going to be pretty irritated after this video right here. And then again, maybe it depends. This is usually a conservative position. And again, I am a libertarian. So I don't believe in this nonsense. This disaster thing, down in Oklahoma, they had a bunch of tornadoes. But here in the Midwest, we had a bunch of tornadoes too. But Oklahoma got hit real hard. And every time a natural disaster occurs, people start talking about send aid down there so they can rebuild their homes and things of that nature. It's a disaster, and I'm not discounting the disaster, the loss of life, and things of that nature. But then there's some real poignant questions that need to be asked. First of all, is it the rest of the nation's responsibility to pay for something that happened someplace else? No, it's not our responsibility, but we've been doing it for so long through FEMA and the president. He signs these orders. Congress, they approve this money to send to help rebuild other cities. Whatever happened to the Red Cross? What happened to your neighbors? What happened to your family members and things like that sending you money? Okay, I know the argument. The argument is that it's a disaster. Everybody's house is tore up and everything. Well, let me give you a little bit of insight. First of all, if you have insurance on your house, it's going to be taken care of. Okay, so the insured people are taken care of. It's the uninsured people, and this is what most people don't know. A lot of people build their houses and move in places where they can't either get insurance, and they end up the government ends up subsidizing the insurance, which that's the taxpayers. And a lot of people don't have insurance. They don't have renter's insurance, and which they should have. Now, if I lived in Oklahoma and I knew that's Tornado Alley, and that's what it is. It's a part of Tornado Alley. I would have renter's insurance. Now, if you don't have renter's insurance, then you are asking for one day for your house to be blown over and it not to be, for you not to be compensated. It goes back to that question I remember they were asking Ron Paul about this guy. If he's young, he decided he doesn't want to get life insurance, and then later on in life, something bad happens. Should we pay for it? No. Hell no, we shouldn't pay for it. His family member, his churches and civic organizations ought to pay for it. Me as a taxpayer, I shouldn't have to I shouldn't have to pay for it. Now that's forced. Now, let's say that me as a private citizen wanted to help my fellow man out. That's a moral issue. That's the issue between me and God. If I decide I want to send money down here for aid. That's just like if I had a kid with autism and there were other people who had kids with autism, and I wanted to get all these people together, and we started the foundation and we solicited funds from people, and they on a voluntary basis wanted to give to it because they cared about your cause. Perfectly fine. That's great. That's how it should happen. The problem is that government wants to take my money by force and make me to have to do it. And I think that's number one, not only is it's unconstitutional, but it's immoral. People should have the choice if they want to help people out or not, and it's a moral issue between me and my God. And people who don't want to assist other people, that's a moral issue. And so this whole business, whether it be Katrina or any place else, I know people are gonna say, oh, they're down there suffering and this and this and that. You need to get some insurance. Well, people go, well, I couldn't afford it. I couldn't afford insurance. That's the reason I could. Now, I'm going to tell you something, what I know about these people. I was watching C-SPAN, and there was a bunch of people came in talking about how much devastation she couldn't afford. But she got a cell phone. She said she couldn't afford renter's insurance, but she called in on a cell phone at a hotel and said she lost everything. Now, the person on C-SPAN did not push her. See, that's the reason I don't have my own show. I got my own YouTube channel. But I know I could never make mainstream TV because I would ask people questions that, a lot of people would want to know, but then they go, oh, you're just being insensitive. The fact of the matter is that how can you have a cell phone and not have renter's insurance? It costs about the same. It costs about $40 a month. Somewhere, or a lot of places even less than that, to have renter's insurance. See, the fact is that most people, whether they be rich or poor, want to live off the labor of other people. They don't want to pay for things themselves. They would rather other people pay for it. And the fact is that the rest of the country should not be supporting people who, A, don't want to get renter's insurance and don't want to get homeowner's insurance. and people who end up building their homes in places that they can't afford to get rebuilt. Maybe they need to be living in an apartment. Now, if they live in an apartment, then the owner is the one who has to replace the building. Now, if they had renter's insurance, they can get reimbursed for their losses. So you take a risk. That's the whole about life. As a libertarian, this is what we always say: you have a right to your life. That's what you have a right to, not to my money. You have a right to your life. You have a right to your liberty, and you have the right to keep the fruits of your labor. So when you work, a contract is between you and a second party. The government shouldn't even be involved. And I'm really glad this whole IRS thing is even coming out right now, because it goes to show you just how corrupt and immoral the income tax is. First of all, it's unconstitutional. But it goes to show you how immoral this organization is. But I'll go a step further. How immoral it is to tax people's labor, especially to pay for other people's issues, paying for people to have abortions, and paying for people's rent, and paying for people's children, and things of that nature. If you can't pay for your children, then don't open up your legs. How about that? See, they need to take away all this stuff. They need to take away child support. They need to take away Division of Family Services. They need to take away Department of Education. And then what you will see is you will see a renaissance in this country, because what will happen is that people will be forced to have to do these things on their own. And I believe in the human beings. I believe that they will rise to the occasion. But if you supplement everything that they do, they will reduce to the lowest common denominator, and they will be exactly what you want and expect them to be, a low life. And the fact is that you have to get out here. You got to work. And you don't have to work for somebody else. Get your own job. Start your own company, and you'll see that things won't be that bad for you if you're willing to do that. All right, that's my take on this whole hurricane thing. You know, FEMA coming in, helping people, department, I forgot this management department that we have, emergency management department we have in cities and stuff like that. All it is taking from the taxpayers, paying for people's things that they should have been paying for themselves. That's all it is. So anyway, no more disaster relief. We need to stop this nonsense because it's bankrupting the country.